minutes of comedy. Can you do an hour special right now?
Yeah, I can do a 3 hours special right now.
We've been chopping it for a while.
Man, we done been in here since 4 o'clock. Nigga. It's 8:20. We ain't even looked at the time.
Yeah, we finna dip in a second.
I mean, but that's just, that's how natural it is, man. It's very rare.
How do you craft an hour show? How would you go about something like that?
It depends on what it is and what space I'm in at the time that I'm crafting it.
Yeah.
Like, I already know what I'm going to call my first hour special is just what are the odds, because just the odds of the way that things have transitioned and came about for me, but I ain't in no rush to do it because, like I said, I'm operating on a different playing field. Like, if I was to do what people felt like I was supposed to do, then I wouldn't be who I am right now, because listening to the open air is what fuck you up. Me being able to do an hour of comedy, I can, as long as I ever been on stage, was 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Alone.
By myself.
I gotta see. So tomorrow, how long you got?
Tomorrow is a college show. Them different. Like the college show.
What is that like?
They, these is youngins, so they just want to, turn up and party and talk, and they still want the jokes, but they not going, sit there and let you work your way through. And hey, so when I'm in the comedy club, it's engaging. I'm able to engage a whole room of people. Like, the silence is what I revel in. It's not I love the laughter, but it's that silence that come after the laughter that let me know where I'm at in the game. When I look around the room and everybody's,
they tied in, glued in.
What's next?
Yeah.
What's next? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's the part of the game that
I can't believe you freestyling that shit.
I mean,
not necessarily always freestyling.
No, you got your jokes that you tell, but I always allow myself to be driven by the room. Like, I did a show in Raleigh. It was a nigga in there named Mr. Higgins. Like, that was on his driver's license. I asked him, I'm like, what's your name, man? He was like, Mr. Higgins. I'm like, man, what's your name, man? He said, Mr. Higgins. Nigga pulled his wallet out. His name was Mister Higgins.
Wow.
I'm like, nigga, you named after a teddy bear. That's crazy than a motherfucker. And then the whole, 30 minutes, I'm like, could you imagine, mommy, I want Mr. Higgins. And this nigga walk in, like, it's just those type of things you can't account for. And a lot of people call it crowd work, but what it really is just you being able to engage the people that's coming to see you to make it a tailored experience to what's going on in that room right there.
When you do some of them,
but
comics,
a special is a little different.
Yeah, some
because
of them comics say crowd work is not.
It's not.
It doesn't translate.
It doesn't translate on camera, and because you can't do it on a special if you're taping conventionally.
Right.
But that crowd work still gives you a different perspective and something that you may have been figuring out how to write a joke about. Like, I always do a part of my set, every show I do, or most of the shows that I do, where I talk about my perspective on relationships, because it's just such a major thing that people always want to hear my perspective on. And then having those conversations, the questions that I get to ask the crowd,
it provokes
the thoughts that move that hour that I'm going to do. Like, for example, my show in San Antonio this past weekend, I'm talking about getting divorced, and I asked the dude, I said, you married? He was like, no. I said, you ever been married? He was like, yeah. I said, how long you been divorced? He was like, man, about 3 years. I was like, what she do? Because you always hear about the nigga. It's always that side. What she do? Tell me about what she do that made you say fuck it. He was like, yeah, man, she got my car stole 3 times. I'm like, she got your car stole 3 times? How the fuck that happened? He said that she was fucking 3 different niggas at 3 different points in their relationships and let them niggas drive his car so much so that he had to report his shit stolen to get it back.
Wow.
You hear some shit like that, and that opens up a like, nigga.
Yeah.
I didn't even know shit like that was going on out here. So for me, an hour special is me just, at whatever point I decide to do it, it's just me putting together an hour or an hour and 10.
Do you know how to write jokes, though?
Yeah, of course. I've had to write them for other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, being on Wild 'N Out, that's one of the things that you learn. Like, I have been, you ask anybody, when in that space, Chico, what you think about this? Chico, what should I say here? Chico, I know how to write. I'm a writer first.
Right.
Like, so it's just when it comes to me, I'm talking about me on stage. I'm talking about my life. I have a different type of audacity. That's where this shit come from.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to write down my emotions and feelings. I have to structure it now, but I do that
Like,
differently too.
Who's your favorite black comic?
Earthquake is my favorite
Top
comedian.
three.
Top
Is
three.
he active still?
Yeah, hell yeah.
He's
hell
a
yeah.
monster. I know back in the day he was a
beef. That's my
monster.
personal favorite. Personal top three. That's a loaded question for me, man, because I consume so much comedy. You know, even before I
Black, too.
became
Let's stay
black. Quake, Dave, and Martin. As far as me growing up watching, that had the biggest impact on me. Quake, because that's who I saw all the niggas who I looked up to laughing at. When I saw them watch him.
Even if he wasn't selling as much, he was a fucking monster. Even Bruce.
Yeah.
That era of comedy right there
yeah.
was fucking amazing.
But the niggas that I grew up around that raised me, my uncles, my big cousins and all of that, when I saw them, I never forget, I saw them watching Earthquake, and this nigga told a joke that about Muslims needing a short set in the summertime. Like they ain't got no Muslim short sets. Like the laughter that I saw as a little boy that gave them dudes made me attach myself to him as a comedian. And as I've watched him over the years, like one of my favorite stand-up specials, if you've never seen it, you should watch it, Earthquake about.
Thanks for watching this clip from It's Up There podcast. To see the rest of the interview, click one of the boxes on the screen. Also, join Discord and Patreon to be in our community.